Learning outcomes. After studying this module, you shall be able to learn and identify the issues that affect pricing of the products to be sold in foreign or global markets, know the general and specific pricing methods or approaches in the international context. Introduction of the chapter. Now I will give you a brief introduction of module. This chapter deals with the basics of pricing in global markets. In case of global marketing, every country and its culture will influence price. It is therefore essential for an international marketing firm to understand the factors that influence pricing decisions, international approaches to pricing, and general marketing approaches to pricing that can be applied to international products. Now we will consider issues and challenges of pricing in global environment. Pricing is especially important in global marketing program because of its effect on market share, market segmentation, demand management, and product positioning. A firm may face certain issues to set an appropriate price for its products in the global markets. These issues can be looked at as internal and external factors relating to company, product, and market. Internal influences include: first, strategic objectives such as objective to be a global player. Second, marketing objective, for example, to gain market share, profit maximization, etc. Thirdly, distribution system, and next, production plant location, and next, cost-based pricing, which can be full cost pricing, marginal cost pricing. While on the other hand, external influences include: first, nature of market, like developed market and underdeveloped market. Second, market demand and customers' ability and willingness to pay. Thirdly, competition. Next, product life cycle stage. And next, government rules and restrictions, which include dumping, anti-dumping, tariff and taxes. Next, exchange rate fluctuations and inflation, and shipping and insurance and transportation cost. Internal influences include: first, strategic objectives such as objective to be a global player. Second, marketing objective, for example, to gain market share or profit maximization. Third, distribution system. Fourth, production plant location. While on the other hand, external influences include: number one, nature of market, which can be developed market or underdeveloped market. Second, market demand and customers' ability and willingness to pay. Third, competition. Fourth, product life cycle stage. Internal influences include: fifth, cost-based pricing, which includes full cost pricing and marginal cost pricing. While on the other hand, external influences include: fifth, government rules and restrictions, which may include dumping, anti-dumping, tariff and taxes. Next, exchange rate fluctuations. Next, inflation, and next, shipping, insurance and transportation cost. Let us now analyze both internal and external factors in detail. We will begin with internal factors. First internal factor is strategic objectives. Strategic objective is described as a mission statement of a firm. For example, mission statement of GLAXOSMITHKLINE is pricing for more than sales and profits. We will consider first the background of GLAXOSMITHKLINE. It is a US pharmaceutical industry leader. Annual drug industry revenues have grown 33% in past 5 years. GLAXOSMITHKLINE (GSK) is doing very well in a high-performing industry. It produces prescription drugs and over-the-counter remedies. Americans spend more than $230 billion a year on prescription medications. Prescription prices have risen rapidly over the years, and healthcare costs continue to jump. Criticism. First, high drug prices have sent many consumers, especially those with limited budget and fixed incomes, to Mexico or Canada in search of cheaper alternatives. Second, GSK has been accused of pricing drugs out of the reach of the poor people who need them the most. Third, GSK earning profits unfairly, even at the expense of human life. GSK spends more than $5 billion a year into direct-to-consumer advertising and another $16 billion into sampling. GSK industry. GSK has developed a steady stream of medicine that transform people's lives. Developing such new drugs is a risky and expensive endeavor. The pharmaceutical industry invests nearly $50 billion a year in R&D, research and development. GSK alone invests $7 billion. A recent GSK ad notes that it took 15 years to complete all the tests and to find the exact right compound for a new heart medicine at a cost more than the price of a space shuttle mission. Profits from the heart drug will help to fund critical research on diseases such as multiple sclerosis and Alzheimer's. The ad concludes, inventing new medicines is not easy, but it is worth it. Today's medicines finance tomorrow's miracles. GSK and the industry facing pressure from all sides. It has undertaken several initiatives to make drug available to those who need but cannot afford them. The company recently launched tiered pricing experiments in the developing world, selling its medicines to patients at different prices linked to their ability to pay. In the US and other developed countries, GSK sponsors patient assistance programs and discount cards that provide prescription medicine to low-income, uninsured patients free or at minimal cost. GSK regularly donates free medicines in response to disaster relief efforts around the globe. For GSK, it is more than the matter of sales and profits. Its heartfelt mission is to improve the quality of human life by enabling people to do more, feel better, and live longer. Accomplishing this mission won't come cheap. Second internal factor is marketing. Objectives are the marketing objective of a firm to enter into a global market can also affect selection of a pricing strategy. For example, if the objective is to gain a large market share, this would require a firm to adopt a penetration pricing, whereas in order to tap less price-sensitive customers, it calls for adopting market skimming pricing. If the firm is a large international player, it may decide to operate at a loss in a few markets or remain locally presented to maintain its economies of scale and its reputations as an international player. Third internal factor which needs to be considered is distribution system. Firms trying to penetrate the global markets must consider their distribution network. If they are distributing their products abroad using franchise licenses rather than selling wholesale to the local distributors, prices set would be different because of their different profit structure. They would have good price control and can adjust prices quickly in response to competition. Fourth internal factor is physical location of production plant. The location of production plant determines the extent to which a firm can control costs and price its products fairly. If the firm decides to locate the manufacturing plant in the home country and only exports overseas, the production cost could remain very high. The production and distribution costs will put a limit on the minimum price of a product to sell in the foreign markets and generate profits. However, if the firm sets up the manufacturing in the foreign market in order to take advantage of lower material and labor cost and exchange rates, this will require a firm to put ceiling on the maximum price. The price set would be lower than in the domestic market and still make good returns. Now we will consider the external factors. First is nature of market, also known as market size. It refers to the potential volume of sales. For larger countries with the potential for more sales, the price may be set lower, and for smaller countries with lesser potential, price may be set higher. Second external factor is cultural variation. Every country and culture within the country influences the pricing. Cultural variations of customers in different countries may take the form of difference in perceiving the value of the product, customer behavior, which in turn affects their willingness to pay. In United States, women's fashion products are seen as a status symbol and therefore they are willing to pay high prices. Customer profile is a part of cultural variation like education level, income, lifestyle and preferences. It helps in setting the prices accordingly. Prices of many products in USA are set high and low in poor and underdeveloped markets. Third is global market competition. Competition and threats in the global market make price flexibility an essential in competing with the competitors. If the global market has more competition and threats, price adjustment in terms of raising the price called price skimming or lowering the price called predatory pricing will become essential. When the market has few threats, a little price adjustment may be needed. Only those products which are specialized and offer a technological edge can provide price flexibility. The firm may be able to set a premium price and compete on the basis of improved quality and additional features or innovations. What value customers place on these innovations is required to be examined. Fourth is government rules and restrictions. While selling products abroad, firms must consider rules and restrictions imposed by the government of the concerned country. For example, rules regarding price ceiling and price floor. Regulations placed on prices of similar products may affect potential demand and price of firm's products. Setting limit on gross margin. Dumping, which is selling products at home at higher prices and using profits to sell at much lower prices in the foreign markets to build market share and to suppress the profitability of competitors at home. Restrictions on repatriation of profits by multinationals, tariffs, etc. Fifth external factor is fluctuations in foreign exchange rate. Currency exchange rate vary from country to country. Therefore, similar products in different countries may be priced differently. If the domestic currency is valued low, this will make import expensive and exports relatively cheap for foreign customers to purchase, and a high value currency will make export expensive and import relatively cheap. Exchange rate fluctuations may hinder an entry to a market because of changing cost of material and labor in a short period. Firms need to adopt a flexible price strategy in this regard to adjust to fluctuations in exchange rate. Preferably, a firm should select those markets where economy and exchange rate have been remained stable over a long period of time. When domestic currency is valued low, the exporting firm can follow the following strategies. For example, expand product line, add more costly features, exhibit price benefits, shift to in-house manufacturing, adopt full cost pricing in old markets and marginal cost pricing in new markets, bill customers in their own currency, buy service like advertising, insurance, transportation in home country, quick repatriation of foreign earned income, and when domestic currency is valued high, it must purchase needed service abroad, keep the foreign earned income in host country, use marginal cost approach, shift manufacturing abroad, engage in non-price competition and cost reduction. Sixth factor is inflation. In parts of the globe where inflation rates are very high, firms face the challenge of setting price and controlling costs. They may find some solution in product component or package modification, finding low-cost supplier for raw materials, shortening credit terms, including price increase clause in the agreement, pursue rapid inventory turnover, quote price in stable currency, or exit. 7th factor is price increase. In order to export products to a global market, export price may become higher than the domestic price because of the incremental cost of shipping, insurance, and tariff. The firm may need to position its products as a premium brand to justify the higher export price, or it can manage the price increase by rearranging the distribution channel, eliminate costly feature, downsizing the product, assemble or manufacture the product in foreign market, choosing closer proximity to customer, selecting variable cost pricing, etc. Eighth factor is price coordination. It means that relationship exists between prices charged in different countries because of the facts that markets cannot be separated perfectly, and too much price difference would create grey market, also known as parallel trade. Price coordination can be achieved by deciding on the factors like nature of competition, nature of customers, amount of product differentiation, government regulations, and distribution channels. Other issues include availability of web-based selling structures and distributors to reduce selling cost and to promote goods, cost of tariff and other barrier, anti-dumping laws, parallel trade pricing, which is importing goods from low tax country and exporting to higher tax country, then availability of similar products, distributor's markup, which is the difference between the distributor's price and the customer's price, brand image, stage of product life cycle, product differentiation, and capacity utilization. There are two approaches of pricing: generic approach and specific approach. First, we will consider generic approach. Most generic approaches to pricing which can be applied to global products are penetration pricing, price skimming, psychological pricing, promotional pricing, geographical pricing, value-based pricing, product line pricing, optional product pricing, and captive product pricing. Among specific approaches to pricing, first is transfer pricing. In this case, products are sold by a firm's subsidiaries in order to reduce the tax burden. Prices are set by the firm at home and products are sold to a foreign subsidiary, which then uses the generic methods of pricing to decide the profit margin and the market price that it thinks it can fetch. Transfer price can be set low or high. In case of low price, the seller loses and buyer gains. And when transfer price is set high, the seller gains at the expense of buyer without affecting firm's profits in total. Second specific approach to pricing is non-cash payments. This method deals with pricing goods in such a manner that instead of receiving payment, only goods are exchanged. It includes counter trade, where goods are exchanged for goods between international firms. It takes the form of barter, buyback, counter purchase and switch trading. Barter is reciprocal commitment related to purchase to goods. It is buyback when unsold goods are agreed to be taken back by the exporter. In case of no buyback, it is counter purchase. It is switch trading when a transaction extends over a long period of time and third party is involved to clear the accumulated credit surpluses. For example, country A has large credit surplus with country B. A third country C may export to country A, and to finance the export, country A sells country B's exports to country C. Non-cash payment methods are not popular these days because they suffer with the limitations of lower profit margin, distorted price, encourage economic inefficiency and promote inferior quality products. Third is standardized pricing. It refers to using a common approach to pricing everywhere. Fourth is adapted pricing. It refers to adapting the price to local conditions. For example, to meet purchasing power of customer and to cover up with the differences in distribution systems and market structure. Let us summarize the discussion we have done so far. The success of an international marketing program of a firm depends on selecting a right price for its products to be sold in the foreign market. It requires a good understanding about the target market. Firms operating in global environment face certain issues or challenges regarding setting prices across different countries. These issues are internal and external. Internal issues are firm's costs, marketing objectives, distribution system and production plant location and are controllable in the hands of firm. External issues which are largely uncontrollable are customer demand and preferences, competition, government restriction, inflation and foreign exchange rate. The common approaches of pricing which can be applied are penetration pricing, skimming, psychological pricing, premium, promotional, value-based and many more. The approaches used especially for international pricing are transfer pricing, non-cash payment including counter trade and counter purchase, etc., standardized and adapted pricing.